Right guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today you join me down in Folkestone at the Eurotunnel terminal, and you might recognise the little car behind me. It's my old Fiat Panda diesel I bought a few months ago. Now, being a car dealer, what I should have done was sold it on the day, made a few £100 profit and just got rid of it. But I quite like it, so I've decided to keep it. In fact, not only have I decided to keep it, today I'm going to take it on a 2,500 kilometre road trip all the way down to southern Spain. Will this £250, 153,000 mile Fiat Panda make it? Will it get me there? Let's find out, shall we? I should explain that I'm not the most organised person in the world and I actually had this idea yesterday, so it is a bit last minute. I set off from my house this morning at about 10 to 5 and it's about 300 miles from my door to this terminal. It's roughly a 5-hour trip. You know, I lay there in bed last night thinking, am I doing the right thing? Have I chosen the right car? Because I genuinely don't know if this will get me there. I've only ever used it for short trips around town, so I really don't know what it's like, especially on a run. But I've spent 5 hours in it this morning and it hasn't missed a beat. There have been no warning lights, no error messages, it's only used a quarter a tank of diesel. I think this will be one of the cheapest trips I've ever done down to Malaga. I've got my little toll road blipper things, so that should save me getting out of the car, because obviously it's a right-hand drive car, not a left. My plan is once I cross the channel and head to France, then I'm going to head to a town called, you might have heard of it actually, Le Mans? Might not be pronouncing that correctly. Le Mans. I'm going to stay there tonight. I've already booked the hotel, so when I get to France I should only have about 4.5 hours until I get to Le Mans. Then the next day I've got about an 8-hour drive until I get to Burgos. Now I've already booked a hotel in Burgos. I've never been there but fancied seeing what it was like. So I booked a hotel there. It kind of splits the journey into 3 8-hour legs, so I thought that was better rather than knocking myself out and doing it all in one go. I've got 14 minutes until boarding begins, so I just want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Car Vertical. Car Vertical provide detailed, in-depth vehicle history reports, and I can't recommend them enough. So if you click the link below in the video description and use the promo code HIP, you'll get 10% off each and every vehicle check that you do. Before you buy a used car, you really need to check out its history. You just don't know what skeletons it's got in its closet. You don't want to buy something that's been involved in an accident or had its mileage rolled back, so it's really important that you do one of these checks. It's important to go into a car purchase with your eyes wide open, and Car Vertical provides details such as ownership, MOT history, servicing sometimes. Even sometimes, if it has been involved in an accident, it can show pictures of the damage. It's really useful. I had this recently with an L405 Range Rover that I bought, and it showed you the previous photographs that the previous owner took when he was trying to sell the car. So you could have a look out for condition, mileage, damage, all that sort of stuff. It's really useful. So don't forget to try it out for yourself. Click the link below in the video description and use the promo code HIP for 10% off. Right, I should probably go on board. See you in France. Bonjour mes amis, bienvenue en France. I don't know why I keep saying that, it's not remotely funny, is it? I've just stopped for some diesel because I was down to about half a tank and it only took 20 litres. Need to remember to stay on the right, don't I? Yeah, it only took 20 litres and I've done 331 miles. I'll work out the MPG later when I'm editing and I'll drop that below. I've noticed when you're driving this around town, you can hear, you might be able to hear that actually, I think it's the engine mounts. The little rubber things which the engine sits on, you can hear it when you back off. It sounds like a dog barking in the distance. But on a run, it's fine. I think the Americans call them motor mounts. Motor mounts. I'm about 3.5 hours from Le Mans, and so far everything is all going swimmingly. We want the A16 towards Rouen. It isn't the quickest car in the world, I mean that won't surprise you, it's a 1.3 litre diesel, but it sits happily at about 60-62 miles per hour. Any more than that and you can just feel its resistance. You can also sense its lack of... Oh, we're just joining the motorway now. 4th gear, 55, 60, there we go. You can also sense its lack of weight because with a bit of wind this blows around like a kite in a hurricane. But it really is a surprisingly good car. I haven't got backache like I thought I was going to. The visibility is excellent. There's not too much road noise. It's all alright really. I quite enjoy myself. I'm also quite pleased I've only got 3.5 hours to go until I get to the hotel. Normally I'd try and gun it and just do as many hours as possible, as many miles as possible, but then you're just so drained and shattered the next day, it ruins it. So I thought instead, slow and steady wins the race. I love going on a road trip. I love the freedom of it. Just put some fuel in and off you go. When I typed in the address on my sat-nav, it warned me that I'm going through Rouen, which is a low emission zone. So no doubt I've got to pay some sort of scammy fee to somebody. In certain cities in France, you need one of those critère stickers, which is just a scam, isn't it? An eco scam, but you've got to toe the line. These are life-changing, by the way. Cheers, Harry. Come on. Where are you? Where are you? There we go. Et voila. I think that's about it then, guys. I will catch up with you closer to Le Mans. Alright guys, I just got checked into the hotel. I'm now in Le Mans. Actually, I'm on the outskirts. I'm southwest of Le Mans in a place called Mulsanne, which is also near a place called Arnage. And I didn't realise the Bentley connection before. Perhaps I should have done, being a car geek. I'm staying tonight in a place, what is it? It's an Ibis style, which I've stayed in before, and they're alright really. It was £103 for the night. It's nice and clean. I'll give you a tour. In fact, from these little funky windows, you can see there's a little Panda, look at that, which has been absolutely faultless. I'd rather have done it in that Cayenne there, the Cayenne Coupe, or the new GLE, but in its defence, that's been pretty good. And I've done something like 75, 80 miles per gallon. This won't take long because there's not an awful lot to see, but it's a twin room, television. For some reason we've got a bowler hat there, which is actually a light. Very nifty. Little desk area. The whole hotel is kind of themed car related, or like Le Mans. So the carpet in the hallway is kind of like this, but with racing tracks around it. Little wardrobe there. We've got the bathroom. Actually, shower room. Toilet. And old douche. I shall catch up with you in the morning. I've got a bed and breakfast basically, and the breakfast starts at 6. So I'm planning to get up nice and early, get some petit déjeuner, and then I'll be on my way again. And next stop, Spain. See you in the morning. Hey up, it's now day 2 and we're back on the road again. In fact, I've been on the road for about 5 hours already today. Had a decent night's sleep and a shower this morning, so I feel all fresh, even though I might not look it. I think I'm about, I know you can't see this actually, but I'm behind a brand new shaped Range Rover Sport, which I do quite like. I thought they looked a bit Peugeot 3008-ish at first, but they are growing on me. Yeah, there's no power to join the motorway in this car, but I've been doing 78 miles per gallon. I've only just figured out where the little trip computer is, so I will work it out properly when I get to my final destination. But according to the car's computer, well, currently doing 76.2. It's really impressive that, isn't it? Who needs an EV when you can get 76 miles per gallon from a 13-year-old Panda? Right, which one do I want now? I think I'm about an hour and 45 minutes away from the Spanish border. I've driven past Bordeaux and I'm heading towards Bayonne. This car doesn't like it when you rev it past 3,000 RPM. It sounds very, very tinny. But still, guys, no warning lights. I booked a hotel tonight in the northern Spanish city of Burgos, which I've never been to before, and the hotel looks really nice, looks lovely. Right on the river, near the cathedral. So I thought I should get there for about 4 PM, so it should still be daylight, hopefully, and I can go and have a bit of a wander around and explore. I'm also down to my last pack of salt and shake, so I don't know what I'm going to do when they run out. Last night, by the way, after I checked into the hotel in Le Mans, I was shattered, but I was still really really awake. I guess running on adrenaline really from driving. So I thought I need something to knock me out, so I went downstairs to the hotel bar and had a few pints, which worked. But it was really strange. There were about a dozen or 15 or 16 or so people in the bar area, but nobody was chatting. It was a really weird atmosphere. I guess they were all French. I was trying to read the room and listen in, but it was a really odd atmosphere. It was almost like being in a morgue. I was trying to figure out what was going on. It just didn't make sense to me. Anyway, I sat there on my own with my drink and I was actually replying to comments and messages on Instagram and YouTube. As I was leaving, the bartender, who was really friendly by the way, said, "Monsieur Goodwin," oh, I won't do the accent. He said, "Good night, thank you for your business, have a good night." But he said, "Oh, you've witnessed our very first date night event tonight." So I thought that makes perfect sense. That's why everyone was acting really weird and not really chatting with one another. Anyway, right, I shall catch up with you in Burgos. I'll give you a little hotel room tour. Well, I've just got to the hotel in Burgos and it's really nice actually. I'll give you a tour in a second. I'm glad I came in the Panda because I'd never got anything sportier in the underground car park. I'll show you a clip of that tomorrow. So now I'm just going to unpack quickly and go and walk around the town. It's a bit of a ghost town at the moment, but I should have an hour left of daylight, so I'm going to go and have a look at the sights. Yeah, have a look at this hotel room. This is the NH Collection Hotel and it is the Palacio de Burgos. And it's much fancier than the other one. So we've got a bath, shower, toilet, bidet, little BD, not seen one of those for a while. It is cold, it's about 3 degrees outside. And on the way down here it was snowing. I'm in one of the attic rooms, I think. Cool though, isn't it? And if you look here, you can see the Burgos Cathedral. How cool is that? So I'm going to dump my bags down and go and have an explore. I will catch up with you later. Cheers, guys. Hola, buenos dias. How's it going? Got my cold coffee, so I'm all set. And we are on day 3. We're on the home straight, really. I'm about 100 kilometers away from Madrid, north of Madrid. It's very frosty today. I can't see the temperature because this car isn't equipped with that sort of technology, but I think it's about 1 or 2 degrees. To make sure I stay on the right hand side of the road, don't I? I've just stopped for fuel because my fuel light came on, so I had about just less than a quarter of a tank, about an eighth of a tank, and it took 31 euros to brim the tank. Not 31 euros, 31 litres to brim the tank. So cheap to run this car. I've been driving now for about an hour and a half and I've got about 6 hours to go. I love being back in Spain. The people are really friendly and welcoming. I've been listening to the radio, listening to that new Shakira song where she compares her ex's new girlfriend to a Casio instead of a Rolex, something like that. Anyway, last night I was in Burgos, as you well know, and I would definitely recommend that you visit. I can't believe I haven't been there before. I love history, I really geek out at that sort of thing, so it was nice wandering around an old medieval city. There's a huge cathedral in the middle which dates back to 1221, and there's a castle on the top of the hill. I was also reading Burgos is where Francisco Franco, General Franco, first set up his fascist government, back in the 30s, I think. I had to dig my sunglasses out of the glove compartment this morning. That's the first time on this whole trip I've needed them. Yesterday when I was walking around Burgos, it was freezing and it started snowing. When I got there, it was like a complete ghost town. It was like the Mary Celeste. All the little bars and restaurants were all closed. This was maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock, but then by 7 o'clock they all opened and the place transformed. It was packed. People just outside with their family, with their dogs, drinking, smoking, enjoying themselves. I really love to see that sort of cafe culture, that sort of social aspect that we just don't really have in the UK. I just think it's much more civilised. Also, something that I thought was quite cool about Burgos, or at least in the old town part of Burgos, there were no big chains. There were no Starbucks or Costa, no McDonald's or Burger King. It was all independent little Spanish places. The whole place was very Spanish, not very touristy at all, which I liked. Makes a change. You go to any big city, Berlin, Madrid, Rome, they're all the same really. There's a McDonald's, an H&M, a Starbucks. But in Burgos, no way. My little Panda, which has been the subject of this whole video, hasn't put, well actually I was going to say it hasn't put a foot wrong. This morning I noticed one little fault with it, which is developed overnight. The boot wouldn't unlock from the key. Normally you press the unlock on the button and all the doors unlock, but today for some reason the boot wouldn't unlock, so I had to put the key in manually. But that has been it. It's been absolutely faultless. It just keeps soldiering on, and I'm doing, what am I doing? 73 miles per gallon. It's incredible. From a 13-year-old, 155,000 mile car that I paid £250 for, remember? On the very tight underground car park in the hotel, I was on the second floor down. I managed to park next to another car from Manchester. In fact, not even from Manchester, it was from Stockport. A Lexus Stockport car. What are the chances? As I was driving down there, down the very steep inclines down into the car park, the car started to kind of, the revs were fluctuating, it was kind of hunting a little bit, but I'm guessing, I'm hoping, anyway, fingers crossed, that was just because, I don't know, I was on a bit of a steep incline perhaps, or decline, because it hasn't done it since, so I think that's all it was. Right then, boys and girls, I'm going to push on, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. See you then. Well, I'm here, I finally made it, but it wasn't exactly plain sailing. When I was about an hour away, I was coming through a place called Jaén, and it's just steep hills. So you drive for 10 minutes up a steep hill, then back down again, then up a hill, then up another hill, then back down again, and it takes its toll. I think, to be honest though, the problem was caused by my cockiness. I was driving along thinking, this has been quite a boring journey. I never expected this £250 Panda to get me all the way to Spain. And here we are, an hour out, and it's been nothing but reliable. As I was having all these thoughts, I was on quite a steep part of the motorway and I needed to overtake an Opel Astra, which was in the slow lane. So I pulled out into the middle lane to overtake it, put my foot down a little bit, and then suddenly there was a blip and the engine light came on. There was no noise or anything, but it just kind of stalled, well not stalled, but like I say, a bit of a blip, a bit of a moment's hesitation, and the engine light's been on ever since. I haven't got a code reader thing with me. It's difficult to tell whether this car's in limp mode or not because it's slow anyway. I don't think it is. For the final 3 or 4 hours, I was spanking it a little bit just because I was so close to home. I thought I was going to try and make up some time. Yeah, there is a fault with this. Won't rev past 3,000 RPM. To be fair, I haven't even checked the levels since I've set off. Maybe I should have done that. I think 2,500 kilometres of non-stop driving have taken its toll. Anyway, I made it. It got me here. So I think I'm going to go and get a shower, and maybe an early night. In fact, no, I'm going to go and get a shower and then go to Mr. Noodles for some food because I'm starving. So thank you once again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little voyage. I have done in a funny sort of way. It's been quite liberating doing it in something cheap and rubbish. Well, not rubbish. So thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave the link below. If you've got any comments or questions, let me know below and I'll do my best to get back to you. So yeah, cheers guys. See you next time.